Hello, welcome to our vlog today. Today is Thursday, April the 23rd. Um, I have two children at home. One's a freshman in college and one is a sophomore in high school. So our world tends to be dominated by what their needs are. Youngest one is always has a fair amount of struggle with what's going on with school. But I've been amazed at some of the things that have happened from our local school district in reaching out to him. As a result of that, I, I was able to contact our superintendent, and it's my honor to get to talk to our superintendent today. I would like for you to meet the superintendent, Mike Johnson. And Mike, welcome to our little studio here. Thank you for coming and being with us.
Well, thank you for inviting me to be here, and it's my pleasure.
Good.
Absolutely.
Thank you. So I have some questions for you today. I want our community to hear what's going on with our school district. I was looking at the web page of the school district last week, and I noticed what you had written about the things that the school is doing now. Those three words jumped out to me that I want you to tell us about. What has changed in the school district's mission because of this pandemic?
Well, our mission is to prepare every student for college, careers, and life through our K-12 system. Our priorities are safety and security. But when this pandemic hit and the governor announced that our schools were going to close, we had to adjust to adapt to the circumstances and overcome the barriers and challenges of this situation. Our focus then became, how are we going to get out to our kids rather than how are we going to welcome them in and take care of them here in our schools. And so our most urgent, our first goal was to get in contact with families and provide meals, because we know with 52% poverty in our schools, we had a lot of families out there that were in need of food and kids, and we had to get it out to them. But in order to do that, we had to make a connection to the home. So our entire communications system changed immediately, and we began to reroute our communications and connect to each home to make sure that we were getting communications to home. First, to be able to provide the meals and let them know how to get access to those meals. And so that was the connection piece. We've continued to connect homes. Each school building counselor is calling home to talk with students to make sure that they're safe and that they are getting what they need from us, whatever we can provide for them. And if we don't, then what is it that they need? And in that, then we're taking genuine care of our kids. That's our first priority now, is how are we going to connect and care for them in the ways that they need us to, given the situation.
So what are the specific ways that you're connecting with the students right now?
So we, after spring break, we needed to be able to make sure that every kid was okay. And so during the spring break, we started to set up our Zoom communications platform. And two people were instrumental in that. That was Amy Halley, the elementary principal, and Amy Aguero, our director of special services. And they got us quickly up and going with Zoom. And then we transitioned that into the classrooms. And during that first week back from spring break, teachers were in charge of connecting with each of their students. And the counselors were as well. And then the principals followed suit. And so we had a good check and balance system on how we could get to every kid, or to make sure that we were connecting with every kid with three different staff members.
Wow.
And then others. Our EAs and our front office folks are also connecting at home to check in on kids and make sure that they're getting what they need as far as food and technology and addresses or phone numbers to be able to call in to let us know.
I've been reading about some of the larger school districts in our state that can't find students. They don't know where they are. They can't get computers to them. How many students do we have here at the Crestwell School District?
So we have approximately 1,350 kids.
Oh, okay.
And we've been able to connect with each of our homes and find out what our families need so that we can be online with the families. We've distributed over 450 devices to homes.
Ooh.
And all of our kindergartens, our kinders, they have iPads. And then the rest of the students, as we move up from the primary grades to high school, have Chromebooks. And so now we're continuing to make sure that we're able to connect with them through technology online. But you know, not every family has Wi-Fi, so we have to get information to them by other means, by emails or by phone calls, and or by texting.
Yeah.
And so we're communicating with them in those different avenues, but also with kids. Not every kid can work on a device.
Yeah.
They don't have Wi-Fi at home, so we're sending packets home, learning packets home for them to do, or thumb drives with assignments on them so they can work on those at home and then return them back to the school, return their work through the thumb drives or the packets or what have you.
And I noticed that you've been providing food at lunchtime from Crest Lane for anybody that can drive in. What else are you doing for providing food for these kids?
Well, initially we started out with distributing food, meals at lunch. And it was at 2 locations. It was at Crestwell Middle School and at Crest Lane. We got up to about 110 lunches during that first week, but we knew that wasn't nearly enough. Yeah. That was about a third of what we needed to get out. Wow. So through spring break, we started to discuss how we were going to get distribution out to deliver meals. And we started, Sarah Hansen put together bus routes and a map for drop-offs and delivery of meals. And that also set up a system where we could drop off packets too, where we needed to those outlying areas or those folks that lived far out from the schools. And so to date, now we're delivering 650 meals for breakfast and lunch.
Wow.
We're distributing 650 meals or so, over 650. And largely it's parents and students that are picking up meals, breakfast and lunch, but our delivery is up to about 100 meals a day by bus.
Goodness, wow! How are the teachers doing right now? How are they feeling about all of this? How are they reacting to the changes?
You know, I have to tell you, there are not really words that can. And I don't want to get emotional, but they can.
It's really, okay. We get that way sometimes. It's okay.
I think when we shut down, I went to the food service department to Donna Tyler, and I said, "Look, we gotta figure out a way to feed the kids." Half a day, she had a plan together, and said, "We'll be ready." And so she started to prepare over the weekend. Well, when she contacted her staff, there was no hesitation. They were all in. I mean, we had more volunteers to come in than we had sites to put food out.
Yeah.
And when we talked to Sarah Hansen about distributing meals, her crew, bus drivers, were just, I mean, they couldn't get there fast enough. You know, everyone wanted a part of this. And so they started a rotating schedule because, you know, we need 2 people on a bus. For social distancing, we need a driver and we need a distributor. So we have a driver at the front, distributor at the back. And so we have had no problem getting people who work on those bus routes and or meal distribution. When we started to launch distance learning and pulled teachers into the craft, into doing, getting the education up and going, I mean, it was, you know, this is a whole platform that we had to train on K-12, all district, in Google Classroom and Zoom. And we had 2 weeks to do it.
Yeah.
I mean, they were in professional development during spring break. to get Google Classroom up and going. And then in that third week, they were communicating with their students via Zoom and bringing them in and connecting with them. And then in the fourth week, we launched distance learning, for the ordinance from the governor on April 13th. And I mean, our teachers, our administrators, our entire district has just been phenomenal. There has been, and our community has been very gracious and patient with us while we're trying to make this system move. But our teachers and our EAs and our office staff have been, tirelessly working to get this done and excited about it, to get back together with kids.
When I was privileged to be on an interview team when Mike was interviewed for the job of superintendent, we didn't foresee anything like this. It's your first year here as superintendent. What's it been like since all this happened?
I just have to, I admire the work ethic and the care that our staff is demonstrating and giving to our kids and families. Yeah. It really is commendable at the highest level.
Yeah. So I think you've kind of answered this, but my question is, like, what have you seen that gives you hope so that you can tell these parents when this is over, what we've learned and what we're doing is going to actually make it better than it was before? What's giving you that kind of hope?
Well, I think it's just the amount of care that I see pouring out of people, going out of my staff and out of parents in return, and the connections that are being made, but the realization of how much we need each other.
Yes.
And I think this is going to draw us closer in partnerships, and especially in providing extraordinary care together for kids. Yeah. We need each other. We realize through this event just how much and how necessary that is. Yeah. And as a community, we really need to serve our kids together.
Okay. I was going to ask, what can we as a community do to help you?
And, the community has responded overwhelmingly positive to this. We've had volunteers. I've had people call me to volunteer. But of course, with the social distancing and the kind of accommodations that we're making for the circumstances, you can't bring all the volunteers in. Yeah. But there are creative ways to get things done. The IRC, we were talking about that earlier, and how they're putting videos together and reading books on video so that we can get those out to kids and they can have that connection with the kids and continue with that. Is going to be really exciting for our students. I know that our IRC volunteers love doing this work. They do. But our kids miss them. Yeah. And this is going to help them feel more secure, I think. Yeah. And let them know that we're still here for them, that the IRC is still here for them. And whatever it is, we're going to find a way to get through this together and do what's best for the kids.
Well, those reading volunteers are actually videoing two days a week, and they use the same studio to do that, and it's pretty amazing to watch them come in and do their thing. And I really hope that you parents, you figure out a way with your Chromebooks or with your iPads to get your students onto those books, because the volunteers are enjoying reading that. That's cool. I'm glad you brought that up. So are our seniors going to graduate this year?
Oh, of course. That's our priority.
Okay.
As far as getting the education piece done is our seniors, and making them prepared for what's coming. They have been preparing for this for 12 years. Yep. And they have plans, post-secondary plans of what they're going to do with their lives. And we're getting right in there with them. We have 70 seniors. As of March 13th, 62 were on track to graduate. 7 seniors have developed plans with our staff to get the credits they need to graduate on time. Oh, wow. And so we have 69 seniors accounted for, all have post-secondary or post-high school plans that have been developed over the last 3 weeks. And then for those that are planning, that we needed a plan to get them to graduation, they have that plan and they have post-high school plans set up.
Wonderful.
So we've accounted for all seniors, and that adds up to 69, of course. And then we have one senior out there that we're working with that we have had a plan for, that's working on some credit recovery. And so that'll extend beyond the school year. But that's where we're at with our seniors. Of course, you know, we've done the bright lights thing, and but in honoring all our kids throughout the district, because we miss them, but to give some special recognition to our seniors there, we have some the 2020 that lights up, and we light it up at 8:20, which is 2020 military time. And then
that's the high school stadium lights is what you're talking about.
Yeah, we light them up on Monday and Friday. We start the week thinking about our kids, and we end the week thinking about what we need to do for them in the next week.
Awesome.
So that's our message out there to the community.
Yeah. Is there any other advice you would have for those seniors? I know one of the seniors is around our family quite a bit, and he's appropriately anxious about what's going to happen about graduation and all of that. Is there anything that's in the works there?
We're always talking about it. We're looking for different strategies that we can bring into play, and other activities that we can do along the way. But, you know, with the governor's ordinance, she has phases for us to get back to work and get back on our feet. And, you know, I'm in touch with the Oregon Department of Education twice a week. And so I'm tuning into what the messages are coming from the governor as far as what's going to happen statewide with our public restrictions, and just looking for an opportunity of where we can set something up that's going to be really meaningful to our seniors and their families and our community. I think to have an opportunity to come together to recognize them and honor their graduation of 2020 is going to be nothing but exceptional. In my eyes, that's my plan.
Good. Do you have anything else you want to tell our listeners today?
I just would like folks to know that although we don't see each other, we're not connecting at the school sites, there's a lot of moving pieces and a lot of people working nights and weekends, teachers, the principals. My leadership team of the district is just phenomenal. The principals, assistant principals, our director of special services, Joel, our technology, and facilities director, has been absolutely phenomenal. And then, as I mentioned, Sarah Hansen and Donna Tyler. But our district office never stopped operating. Our central office and the folks in the central office, they kept the beat going and kept us afloat while the district leadership started to set up for this distance operations systems. And you know, it's just admirable. But our teachers and our classified support staff and our directors and leaders, they don't look for this kind of recognition. But in my eyes, they are to be commended for the heroic job that they've done to pull this off. And they spun in 2 weeks to provide education from a distance and care and concern for all our kids. And we weren't great. We put out a great effort, but they are working tremendously to get better at what we're doing here to finish up this year the right way.
Well, as a member of the community, I can only say thank you, and you keep up the good work. It's a privilege to get to talk to you about this, but to get to be a family here in our community and know that you are connecting with my child, and to know that you care about him as you teach him and as he learns. I can't tell you how much comfort that gives me during a time where we have a failure to have some company, some comfort. And so it's wonderful. And again, thank you for letting me talk to you today. I want you to know that Mike will be back periodically just to talk to us and let us know what's happening with the school district. Thank you so much for watching this today. God bless you, and I'll talk to you tomorrow.